Welcome back to another episode of the Blockbuster Brothers. Today we're talking about the new Netflix series, The Eternaut, which was actually based off of a really famous Buenos Aires comic that was done a really long time ago and has been in works to become in live action for a while. Steven, you checked it out. What'd you think?
I did. I liked it. I didn't know anything about the comic prior, but I love when TV shows, and this is more prevalent outside of the US, but where you feel like the cast is very authentic and real. There are no models, in this show. These are average, real looking, relatable people. And that's a little side thing, but I did like the cast. I thought it was good. I thought it was a pretty cool concept. I wouldn't say it moved very fast, but that's probably maybe not what the comic is, where it's not like a bunch of action all the time. But I thought it was really neat concept, and I found myself liking it. I liked the camera work and the lighting, and it worked for me. I wasn't like through the roof on it, but I was certainly intrigued.
So I think that this is going to be another one where it might be polarizing for the people who know the pre-existing IP in the story. Because for me, knowing the story and how it starts out, I think that the fact that they changed the beginning and changed the structure of how this story works actually kind of breaks down one of the key functions of the story that makes it work so well. So how the comic book starts out is that they're just playing, a group of four men are just playing poker in their house, and it starts to snow. And I think them being isolated and not in like the city, it plays the stakes of like how you would discover that there was like an apocalypse going on outside, and like putting together the fact of it. Whereas like in the beginning of the show, like you kind of know what it is, and right from the get-go. And there's a slow burn in the comic of putting this together that I think is missing. And the isolation of just a single character as opposed to like kind of bouncing around to a couple characters, I think takes away from the isolation and the struggle an individual would have given these circumstances, which I think was a great component of the first one, of being like, what's going on? We can't really communicate. Like, they're out in the suburbs. I just felt like things were being changed. And at the point, it's like, just make another apocalyptic movie. If you're gonna do the IP, stick to the IP. Don't like quit changing the IP. Like, just do a different story. Like, stay true to the topic. So I'm a little biased. I'm kind of a little bit worn out on these IPs that are very successful. You don't fix something that ain't broke. You shouldn't maybe even touch it, even though this has been waiting for live action. It's just, again, I think you're playing with messy grounds with people who have already experienced the story. It's kind of a, you're setting yourself up for failure unless you're just counting on people not knowing the IP at all and watching it blank.
So that boat scene in the beginning was not.
No.
Yeah, so it's funny you bring that up, because that was my only gripe with the show, was that beginning where, out in a boat, three friends, all of a sudden, boom, someone's dead, and then we cut away for the whole rest of the episode. So yeah, that's interesting you say that. Yeah, and
it removed the punch of the comics of just like staying with that one character. Like, what if like in Walking Dead they left Rick to go, like, no, you gotta isolate, because that's like, you have to replicate what the protagonist is feeling. And the further you become disaligned with what the protagonist is feeling, the less you're going to be connected to their actions, the less you're going to care about what they do, and the less you're going to care about the movie.
And less curious too, because right after that opening scene, I was like, okay, there's either a killer or something that's killing people. And then when the snow falls and things started to happen, there wasn't a whole lot of mystery about the potential dangers of this, where in the opening scene it's obviously very dangerous, and kind of left you without asking maybe as much questions as they should have if they would have kept to the original script. Well, that's it for the Eternaut.